I hope it was in spite of. I know y'all going through. Nobody's perfect. But in spite of that, genuinely pray that everybody has had a beautiful day. Prosperous, fruitful, and that you prosper. Straight up. I've already prayed to the Most High for us, which I do every day. Irregardless if I like a certain group, what a certain group of people have done or doing or not. I pray the Most High word over all, so that will overcome them. It'll slow them down with the wickedness. You know, how do they, will they know unless you teach them? That's why I pray for them and I share what I learn. I share what I learn. Am I a teacher? Yes. I'm a servant of the Most High. It's my job to teach the truth. Yes. But there's an instruction, a serious instruction to being a teacher. That's why I say I share. But yes, I'm a son of the Most High with an authority coming from eternity. I don't care what people think I have to say. I truly don't. A lot of people don't get it. And it's for you to be instead of just talking about it. There's something you're being called to do, which makes you the thing. You can't wish about it. You can't talk about what you don't have or this or that. Because I'm not relying on Dwayne's perspective per se. I'm bringing the eternal plan into this day and time. Convention, preheat, 425. How long you know it took? That's all you see. Bake for 15 to 17 minutes. Okay. 425, so I go 400. I ain't no rush. Should I make 2 of them joints? Should I make some rice to go with it real quick? Make something real quick. Make some of that yellow rice. Some of that Latino rice. My silly used to kill it. My silly was a paisa. He barely spoke English. Hey, bro used to cook his ass off. I used to be like, man, look, when it's time to cook, he didn't speak no English, but we understood one another. He was cool as hell. And we used to talk. He didn't speak no motherfucking English, but he learned English from hanging around us. Y'all know how it is. Latinos hang around us, right? You got some that nowadays they acting snooty like they white and shit, but for the majority they hang around us, man. My son has to be like, look, I go to commissary, I get all them meats and noodles so he can cook. He used to make pastelitos, all kind of dishes they have that they, 5, 6 of them motherfucking pastelitos, hot, cheesy, all off the chain. Now, mind you, we in Cook County Correctional Facility. We're in the Cook County Jail. And we was cooking like we was good though. And man, I'm talking about that man can cook it. Plus he used to fuck with his guys. Latinos have positions, jobs and things and get, a commodity. Everybody didn't get the type of food, specialty food. You go to commissary, you buy that stuff, you use it wisely. Yeah, I ate good, but that wasn't why I was going to the store. I use that stuff like money. Use it wisely. Or you call home, tell me I need something. No, once you go to commissary, shit, the hustle begins. A lot of people don't go, but they be coming across money. Shit, they'll hustle for what they want. And if you can make it happen for them, they gonna run you off in 20 minutes. Fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. Right. I don't know why everybody in the uproar. Where does energy come from? Yes, it's information about us that haven't been tapped into, and yeah, it makes me wonder why. Well, why y'all never brought this information out? Knowing that we are a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, why wouldn't y'all? And the information is in your books. They know this. Why wouldn't y'all? But then I look at, okay, we don't need all that stuff they got. We don't need money to rule and have power. We got what they is to point out the difference in us knowing who we are based on God's word. This ain't nothing I just came up with or formulated. Oh no, we them people. Yeah, we are. Because you could do a word search. I'm an etymologist. Etymology is the study of origin of words. I get to the root of words that are interpreted today because through interpretation, if you don't go back and do your own due diligence, you can lose. They can lose you. They can lose you because you got to understand. You got one group that began, then you got another group that came along. That was probably still favorable. That extended. Then you got another group that came along that took it. You that took it and just took hold of it, which is cool. Which is cool, like I explained when I talk to our Gentile brothers and sisters. Yeah, a lot of things we've been taught. I believe our people should have done some extensive research where we would have got to the root of what these things mean, these places, people, and things, and to gain a more clear understanding through the information that's there, not hiding information and making books, charging like thousands of dollars for books that speak to this, which can instantly, if you believe it, which the information has been there before we even got here. But then I'm looking at how they're controlling it, how a certain group is controlling it, and it's just not right. It's not right no matter how you cut it, which I know speaks to the greater. Okay, let me look at this word and let me see what the Father's speaking about, which he gave this people a covenant, and this people would be blessed, and if they broke the covenant, they would be judged, which means they will be cursed as a nation of people, not just no just a whole nation, and there will be signs of these blessings and curses on them that you would know. This them people right here. I don't care who say what, when, where, and why, but you gonna know. This them people. Yeah. And we are them people. But that's only the beginning. Knowing ain't and talking about it ain't it. Now it's time to come to life. It's something for you're called to do. And that's the greater. You're being called by the Creator Himself, which was written centuries ago, way before we even got here. How do you know that, Wayne? How can you confirm that? Because the Father is a spirit, right? And behind every word we speak, there's power, right? So when we speak it, there are things, evidence that we should be looking for to corroborate, to prove what we're saying. The Father said this is what's going to happen. We should be looking for them signs. That's the authority because that's the spirit of the Father. It's pointing you, it's showing you, it's pointing you to what you're looking for. But if you don't search out the scriptures and really study the words, you have to become a a word specialist and a scholar. Even if you just researching, you're going to become a scholar because it's going to cause you to have to really buckle down, family, and focus. You're going to be taking a lot of notes. I got so many notes. I got so many books. Lord, don't get me started. But it's worth it. And the change that comes with it is immediate, family. It's not immediate as far as, okay, I'm planting seed, but it can be depending on your faith. Let it be according to your faith. Do you believe the word, not the world and their systems? And what you can go out there, okay, I can jump in the stock market, I can put some money over here, I can invest over there. No, it ain't gonna come like that. That's not how the Father works. And I know a lot of people will they would probably beg to differ, but no, the Father's gonna make you owner and controller of whatever He put in you to bring forth, not just for you. So it's nothing. You should. You're not. That's why He tells us to come up out of the world. Don't make no covenants with them. That's in business. That's in anything, family. You ought to start the business. That's what I hear my people griping about every day. How they being played on the back end because we ain't controlling the front end. We ain't owning the buildings and bringing our uh, talents to the building and, doing business, charging people and taking control of everything that's surrounding that. Because not only do you have the talent, but there are other things that you can tap into to push this, right? That's Jewish, but the way to determine if someone's a Hebrew is written in the Bible. That's something different. That is a bloodline. Can't know anybody become Jewish, and it's not. I mean Hebrew, and it's not through your mother. Your DNA comes through your father's bloodline. That's not biblical coming through the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Read Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. It tells you your pedigree is determined by the house of your father. That's common sense, family. Your daddy carried the seed. He carries the sperm, not the woman. So he carries the seed. He's the creator. She just carries it. Don't get it twisted. I'm not taking nothing from her, but let's just be real about it. Your bloodline is determined by the seed of your father. I mean, yeah, your father's pedigree. That's in the house of Israel. That's kingdom culture. That's the law the Father gave to Moses and then passed to the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites. Now, what the Jewish people doing, that's their business, family. That's their right. But that don't have nothing to do with what's written in the Bible, family. You have to learn to distinguish the two. Yeah, we've been taught some things, But when I read the Bible, then I look at the spirit and how people, a nation, group moves. The spirit bears witness to the truth. I don't care who it is. I don't have to talk about them. We could talk about the word. Then when you measure a people in a group or a person, you measure them according to the word, according to the Father's standard. But everything is controlled by their standard, which lets you know that's a false world, fam. That's not thus said the Most High. And that's no shot at nobody. You want to tap in with the Most High. You don't even want to tap in with Wayne. Yeah, we can gather ourselves and to do his will, but your relationship with the Most High is between you and him. Can't no man administer nothing. That's between you, him, and the Holy Spirit. Everything else is an example or its purpose to push you closer towards him. They don't have nothing for you. People don't have nothing for you. You can stop asking. They're using you to get what they want, but then we turn around and okay, we think we getting leverage, but you still ain't owning and controlling nothing. You gotta cut that off. You got a malignant root. You cut that off. You don't do business with that to try to get the lesser evil out to act in a certain manner. They ass off. That makes sense. I'm from the streets. If they ain't want to do business with us, we cut their ass off. You don't send no money, no energy. You don't give them nothing. You take everything back and watch that motherfucker crumble. That's how we got the Most High, the Eternal One. We just we look. And when you say that, people look at you like you crazy. I don't care what no system is doing. I'm looking at the system that we already adhere to. That's through obedience to the Most High and what He declares by His word. That's it. Now that may seem archaic to some people because a lot of people be like, "Well, we ain't doing that now. We Christians," and I'm like, "Man, Christians, what they got to do with the Bible?" Like a lot of people, they adamant about that they follow the Most High, but that's not that's not biblical. That's not kingdom. That's not the culture of the Hebrews. No, it ain't. I don't care if it was first in Africa, Europe, America. I don't care. That it doesn't have a script. The script that you're reading is based on the God of the Hebrews. And yes, you come into the kingdom of Israel. But you got to come correct. You ain't coming with all that. Yeah, you might, it's on you now, but when you get up in there, all that's going to change. We ain't Judaism, none of it. Don't none of that. The Bible don't the Bible is not the foundation for none of them. I don't care what they DNA say. This is your spirit. I want to see your spirit. People talk all day. We pay them. They go and study as much information as they can to become the most eloquent speaker where they can convey a message where you're going to adhere to what they're saying. They want you to pay attention. They feel it's important. So they become the most knowledgeable, most eloquent speaker that they can become. Right? Family. I don't care about none of that. I want to see what you're doing on a daily basis. Your thoughts towards others. How do you treat them? Do you have love for others, or do you just use people? Do you even care about your brothers and sisters? That's what I watch. Like I said, you can talk till you blue in the face, but that doesn't prove whether you have love. I want to see how you treat others, and whether there's somebody watching or not. Love is love is internal. You shouldn't have. It shouldn't be based on if you know, just love. This. And every day they constantly back and forth. Theological studies. Who are the Jews? Who are not the Jews? Who are the Hebrews? Who not the Hebrews? Man, just be. Whatever you is, show up as the son. You don't need all them mockers and all that. Get out of here. None of that stuff. You know Martin finna go and get buck wild. They act like they don't know it's his birthday on this episode of Martin. Martin finna go ballistics on all of them. Y'all act like y'all don't. They finna surprise him good though. I guess so, Martin. I gotta go out with my girl, y'all. Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I love the Most High. And I love his people. But I'm different. I don't be too quick to be going all over places and all that stuff. My girl be getting mad. Cause I'm like, shit, when y'all was at home twinkling y'all toes, I was a youngin' ripping, running the streets, going places, having fun. I got my ass whooped because I was hard headed, but we went to have fun. You know, your parents might have told you don't go here or there. We went places to have fun. We weren't going to places to be destructive. You know, we had purpose in life. We weren't just looking at life like, oh, life dead. Like, man, if they don't open the doors for me, man, hell no. We was hustlers. We had that hustler. You got hustling us. Then you get around your homies, they doing the same. They got the same energy you got. You know what time it is. You ain't got to sell fucking drugs, sell clothes. You sell anything. You ain't got to do all that stuff. We think, oh, the elders, they look. The elders did what they did. It's over now. It's your turn. What you gonna do? You gonna complain about? Let me get my chocolate, my nutty bar. You gonna complain, sit around and complain about what they didn't do all your life, or you gonna take hold and take control now? That's what you got to do. Trust it. Trust the process. It's yours. You take control of it. And everything around you, you utilize to your advantage. That's what it's there for. Don't enslave yourself to nothing. You work that shit. You know, you make it work for you. That's what I do, family. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. Oh, you should get a job. You should get. I got a business. What I need a job for? You get a job. I had to tell one of the homies earlier. It's love, you know. I'm like, bro, look, I mess with cats that's, they move different. They ain't up at 5 and 6 in the morning talking about I need to go work and all this. And they successful. They entrepreneurs. We don't have to keep nobody else time clock and how we move. That's why we work hard and strive to come up. I ain't trying to keep nobody else time clock. I don't care how they move. This how we move. I ain't saying I'm coming out no 8, 9 o'clock. Go work on, but I will if I get that call. It's business. You gotta go to work. That's what we do. That's what you gotta do, though. So live alone, yeah, yeah, and you because and why do I come to the conclusion, or how can I come to the conclusion where I just can just dismiss years of centuries of theologians teaching easily because they're interpreting the Bible. But, but, and it works to our advantage. It's like the Bible says. The ancestors, the elders, they long to see the day of these days. You know what I'm saying? Or the day of the Messiah, which they had heard about, had been taught about, read about. It's who the scriptures speak about, family. Don't listen to these. There's a lot of people off. A lot of Hebrews are with this idea that they don't, and it's not that any Christian don't get it neither. It's always a debate instead of being okay. This is the word. Let's move accordingly. You got to debate. There's always a debate about something. I noticed that with other people. We got to be right. You're gonna be right. The spirit gonna move you the right way. You ain't gotta worry about that. You gotta be. can't be debating all day. That don't mean that's you. Because you debating, defending. I want to see. I want to see the reality of it. Exactly. I want to see some action. You gotta be. You ain't got to be the best. You ain't got to go trying to get a Cecil Rhodes scholarship and all that. No, we don't do all that. We go get understanding from the wisdom of our ancient, of our ancestors. Exactly. We ain't denied no more. You better read a book. I've been reading. I wouldn't care who denied what. The things they say don't do, I always did. Yeah. When it came to finding out things or doing things, I was determined at a young age that I would never let nobody tell me what I could or couldn't do. Never. I got my ass whooped because of that. My parents would tell you, but it wasn't that I was being, oh, I guess you're being rude. But I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was hard headed in search of learning how to do things, learning how to make moves, get to the money, take care of business, knowing what it meant to be a young man at the time. How did I fit in? You know, what was my place? Shit, I found my place in hustling. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, my parents had stood up on their head. They found out the shit I was doing. What could they do? I was in the trenches, 13, 14. We was out there trying to be grizzled. We was in the trenches, baby. Mm-hmm. A lot of things we probably should have did and shouldn't have done. You live, you learn. You live, learn, and make better choices. You grow from it. You don't, oh, I should have, ooh. No, you grow. Well, they're not going to respect the genetics and the conclusion that proves that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. They're not going to tell you the truth. Black people, mm-mm. It grows and grows. I didn't run from not wanting to get out here in the field, minister and things like that, help others, which I do daily. Ain't no special time. You just do it. Third temple now. They want it now. Unlocking the mysteries of Ezekiel. Hmm. It's over for Trump. Oh yeah, that white people going crazy. Over that chat GPT, brothers and sisters in Africa steady showing them that stuff. I talked to a neighbor today and he was saying how one of the Gentiles, he was saying how it's hard for us now and this and that, and I'm like, shit. Y'all, mm-mm, mm-mm. They ain't trying to stop Israel. They bomb everybody, but God tells them people, stop playing. It does what the hell it wants. And over the years, Mossad has been exposed for going into apparently sovereign countries, not that Israel's government could care less about that, and killing their targets. And sometimes they've been caught on cameras in hotels, going into a hotel room, killing someone. And it's obvious who it is, but nothing's ever done. And people need to, who show anti-Semitism, they need to ask themselves why, as has happened year after year after year, does Israel, this tiny piece of land in the Middle East, have this ability to do what the hell it likes, carte blanche, while the rest of the world looks on? And not only that, arms them to support them in doing it. Now, it doesn't take a brain of brick anywhere else to realize that this is not an accident. There's something about... Man, I was just talking about that. There's a difference in following the word. Words have power. So therefore, it's going to prevail. I don't care how much of a deflection they try to put up. The sons of Most High YaHuWaH have them. Come on to the back, to the barbecue. Have our gathering. Sit down and establish how we gonna do this. All this, no. They ain't getting a set no. They can't never set no standard on nothing. White people gonna go along with that shit. And you got some black people. But those of the Most High, yeah, we not gonna, I don't look to try to hurt them. But I'm gonna tell them the truth, and black people too, whether you like it or not. Israel and the Israeli government and the Israeli intelligence and military networks, that means they don't have to live by the rules that anyone else does. Now, why is that? This is the question we should be asking, not calling people anti-Semitic for asking it. Exactly. Actually asking it and demanding an answer. You better demand an answer. But within this let them get away with that. I talk about, Israel is massive. I'm talking about its government, not its people. And its intelligence and military networks are massively influential and have enormous power within this cult network. And thus, they can do things that others can't do and get away with it. And of course, America is the same. Europe to an extent, yeah, and the rest of the world just has to play by their rules. Exactly, right. Stop. Perfectly well applied when you look at Russia. What's going on in Ukraine? If Russia had done a fraction of what Israel has very clearly done, the world would be going crazy. Well, you'd certainly have, a call for a war. We can't let these people go on in the same way that we've had, justification over the years for the invasions of Libya, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, based on what their governments were supposedly doing, most of which was just fabricated anyway. Well, exactly. Meanwhile, Israel literally does whatever it wants. It kills civilians, it kills children, it bombs apartment blocks, just because, and nobody said anything. One thing that's interesting, more than that, it claims to be a victim. A professional victim. Oh, look, the world's against us. Well, I wonder why a lot of people are against you when you're mass murdering Palestinians in Gaza, when you're doing all these other things that you do. I mean, I wonder why. I mean, anyone got an idea why people might not like that? If they have a smear of empathy and compassion. And so you've got this, this is the way it always works. What you do is you cover yourself by accusing other people of what you're doing.
It happens all the time. And what you're trying to do is put your challengers on the defensive, defending themselves. Oh, no, I'm not anti-Semitic, honest. I couldn't give a damn watching and getting away with it. And there has to be a reason for that. Why has there not been a Israeli prime minister at the award crimes court? Why isn't Netanyahu? Look at his history. The times he's been Israeli prime minister, the times he's mercilessly bombed Gaza and overseen horrors going on in the West Bank against Palestinian civilians through his army and others, these so-called Jewish extremists who just take land in the West Bank because they can. Why is that not together a war crime overseen by Netanyahu? And why, I repeat again, are the countries that claim to be liberal democracies and care about people, why are they arming, supporting, and in terms of America, massively funding the very military networks that are doing this? It's because the global cult is massively influenced in its actions and reactions by that which controls Israel, which in the end comes down to, certainly historically, the Rothschilds.
Yes, and as you've written about and spoken about extensively, they use the Jewish community and they use events like the Holocaust and stuff to shield themselves from criticism because they pretend to assimilate into that group when they hate that group. You've spoken about that previously because you look at Israel through COVID, that was one of the most draconian in the world, so the general population there certainly weren't looked after. And now, with this increasing, the sway of public opinion towards Israel, those people that might not actually support this, the general population, are going to be tarnished with that same brush. So you are going to lead to a rise in people actually targeting Jews. So they're using Jews as a shield, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I've written at length over the years about this this cult, which I call the Sabbatean cult. Well, that's what it calls itself as well, or the Sabbatean Frankist cult, which you can pick up in the 1600s. This is an inversion of everything Jewish. It's an inversion of Judaism. And it's controlled Israel from the start, thanks to the Rothschilds, who have been Sabbateans. The Sabbateans are part of this global cult network. But the way they get away with it is, although they hate Jews and everything Jewish, they pose as Jewish. They pose as kind of, really serious followers of the Jewish religion. And they end up as prime ministers of Israel. They end up running Mossad and the Israeli Defense Forces. They end up in the stream of positions of political power in America, vastly, vastly in excess of the ratio of Jewish people to the American population.
Yeah, but they don't represent the Bible. That's the problem with the world. The world needs to reconcile
It all
that.
started with a TikTok.
And understand that yourself. That's where you are. It will be black. Get over it. Repent and do right. Black people.